Hi everyone, I'm going to show you the next step that comes after sewing your pocket onto your apron. This is now going to be the bottom hem of your apron. So turn your apron over so that the pocket is underneath and you are looking at the back of your apron. And what you are going to do is the directions say to turn up a 1 1/4 inch hem on the lower edge of your apron, then press. That's what the directions say. So what I've done is I've done exactly that. I started at this end and I turned up 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch. Now, how did I know that's what it was? Because I measured. So here's 1 1/4 inch. I started at this end and I pinned right away. Then I turned up some more and I checked to make sure that that was 1 1/4 inch. And then I pinned and I just continued until I reached the end of my fabric. I kept turning it up and measuring it with my measuring tape and making sure that it matched all the way up to 1/4, okay, and then I would pin. So I didn't try and do the entire hem all at once. I did a little bit at a time, then I would put a pin in and I would move on and turn up 1 1/4 inch, okay? Then the directions say to press that. So you're not doing any sewing yet. Once you get your 1 1/4 inch hem turned up, you've done it all the way across, you've got your pins in, then iron it. You want to press it. The directions say to press, which is the same thing as iron. Then after you press it, it's still not time to sew. Then the directions say to turn under 1/4 of an inch on the raw edge and stitch in place. Okay, so this is the raw edge. Okay, that's the side that may have some fraying. It's the raw edge, it's not the hem. Now, it says turn 1/4 of an inch up. Now, I haven't done any pressing here. I'm just showing you directly. Let's say I've done all the pressing for the 1 1/4 inch, and then it was time to turn under 1/4 of an inch. So what that means is to take that raw edge and turn it under so that now it's hidden behind the rest of the hem. It's not on the outside. I'm not turning on the outside, so that you create a nice hem here where you don't see the original raw edge. Now, I would suggest, obviously you would use your tape measure to do this, but don't try to do just 1/4 of an inch. It's a small amount of space to deal with, and it could get tricky when you go to sew it. I would say fold over enough so that when you measure the outside, you have 3/4 of an inch. So you're coming up to this line here. That's 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to fold over 1/2 an inch behind that hem. Okay, you're going to fold that over and then you're going to pin it. Now, how do you know if you fold it over 1/2 an inch? Well, you're just going to keep measuring along. You go step by step, pin by pin. You don't try and do the entire hem trying to turn under 1/2 an inch all at once. You do it a little bit at a time. Turn over 1/2 and then just measure and make sure you've got 3/4, and that's how you know that you have turned under 1/2 an inch. And you go on, put a pin in it after you've turned under 1/2 an inch. And so here I would turn this under and then I would measure that I've got, if it's too much, then I just need to roll a little bit more under. Okay, until I see until it's coming up to this line. Okay, I can't do this with just one hand, but you can see that here I was careful to make sure I rolled under only a 1/2 inch. Again, don't do a 1/4 of an inch because that won't give you enough space to do sewing on it. We'll work with turning under a 1/2 inch. Pin it. Now the directions say don't iron at this point, don't press it, go right ahead and sew. And what you're going to do is you're going to line up this edge here with the 5/8 line. Okay, when you line this up at the 5/8 line, your needle will go in about here, and then you're going to do a straight stitch down to the end of the apron. Don't forget to do a little reverse at the beginning, and then when you get to the end, you'll do a little bit of reverse, and then after you've done that straight stitch, then you're going to iron it so that this whole area becomes flat. Okay, so first thing, do 1 1/4 of an inch of a hem where you fold the fabric up, pin it, just go one part at a time and pin, iron this, press it. Then after you've pressed it, you can actually take the pins out. Then you're going to go, like I did on this end, and you're going to turn under a 1/2 inch of that original 1 1/4 inch that you not hemmed, but you pressed. Turn 1/2 inch under so that you end up with 3/4 of an inch, and then pin it. Do it one pin at a time going across. Once you've pinned that, then you're going to sew. You're going to line this edge up here with the 5/8 line on your machine. You're going to do a straight stitch. Don't forget to do a little reverse at the beginning, straight stitch all the way down, a little reverse at the end, and then you've done your hem at the bottom of your apron.